What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. Tonight we'll be doing a live play-by-play reaction of. Oh wait, we're not doing a live play-by-play reaction. We're just kind of doing a impromptu get-together stream here on a Friday night. Probably live for maybe 30 to 40 minutes. Lots of news today. Of course, the day started around 11 a.m. We found out Gregg Popovich was stepping down as a San Antonio Spurs head coach. Which, I mean, I think we all knew it was coming, but just still the initial shock of actually seeing it happen was there. And then the double whammy today is finding out Mitch Johnson was his replacement. I know a lot of Spurs fans are like, TSR, we saw this coming. You knew it was coming. I think they would at least interview some other candidates before making the decision, but Mitch is now our guy. And we'll talk about it, see how you're feeling about it. Thoughts, maybe he'll do better than we expect. I have a feeling Pop's going to be heavily involved in decision making, so we'll see. What's going on, Levi and Freds? Thank you for stopping in. Josh Burns, thank you for being here. Call the Biscuit Buddy. Mitch being the official head coach does not have me looking forward to it. No, I'm looking forward to next season. I just hope his rotations are better. Timeouts, challenges. He was better at the end of the season. Maybe having an off season with the team will really help. I hope it does. I am rooting for Mitch Johnson. I want to make that clear. I'm not a fan of the move, but I'm hoping he proves me wrong, and I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way. I hope he proves a lot of folks wrong. Alexander, I wish they interviewed some other candidates. EJB, what's going on? Although I did hear from some folks, this is what Wemby wanted. I mean, one thing I will give Mitch Johnson credit for is he was playing Castle a lot at the end of the year. But still, I don't have a lot of faith. But I'm going to try to stay positive and hope he is the guy. He was forced out. You think Pop was forced out? Fresh, what's going on? Thank you for stopping in. I hope Mitch got all. There you go, Victor. I hope Mitch got all of his bad decisions out of the way this season. They won't be better not with Pop. Area 51, there are some people thinking that this is kind of way of Pop's to shadow coach, where he'll still be very heavily involved. And maybe he will be. I don't know. Who the heck knows? An awkward hand dealt to him. He did have an awkward hand, Gabriel. Thank you for stopping in. Stingray X Factor, what's going on? My dream has come true. First time you're going live to discuss. No, not first time Stingray X Factor. Stingray X Factor. We went live for the on Fox News. I think live when DeJounte Murray got traded. It doesn't happen often. I would have went live today if I wasn't working. But the news dropped literally, I think, while I was uploading the video about Giannis to the Spurs, and I couldn't do another video. I did that on my 15-minute break. So I shot the short real quick while I was at work. You could tell I was obviously at work on one of those. And what a crazy day. Just, I don't know. Just maybe now that he knows the team is officially, he will be more aggressive and start coaching like he knows what he's doing. Maybe. Mitch Johnson has been with the Spurs for 10. He has. He has. I didn't realize it had been that long. You wouldn't know it the way he coached sometimes this year, but he has. And there are multiple head coaches way better than Mitch. That seems to be the thought process is, why don't we look at some of the other options? If Mitch was your favorite option out of, say you interviewed 5 other coaches and you thought he was the best fit, okay, maybe I won't agree with it, but at least or they did interview other coaches and we are just being left in the dark, which is always possible too. What's going on in Medicare, guys? Not many people wanted this. Nobody really know. I think Peter Holt not being the owner anymore in 2016 was a lot bigger. Joshua, you make a good point there. Tracy, good evening. If I missed anybody, my apologies. The Washington Commanders, who are maybe changing their name back again, who the heck knows, the Washington football team, when Daniel Snyder sold the team, or actually I think he was forced out, the team has made made a 180 and is trending in the right direction. I don't want to say it's all ownership's fault here with the Spurs. We are trending in the right direction. We have building blocks: Victor Wembanyama, De'Aaron Fox, Stefan Castle, our 8th overall pick this year, which could jump up. May 12th is, oh my gosh, May 12th is next week. Next week we'll find out where we're picking in the NBA draft. He hasn't really given a reason to give up on him. Players seem to, Paul, bad rotations. Lack of timeouts. There was a game where the other team went on a 16-0 run before he called a timeout. I was yelling for a timeout when it got to 10. A lot of the chat was when we were live. Then it got to 12. Then it got to 14. Then it got to 16. And finally, he's like, timeout. And I was like, the ultra small ball where it was 4 guards and a Mamu. We saw that in the court at times where Sandro Mamukelashvili was out there. And it was CP3, Stefan Castle, Devin Vassell, and maybe Blake Wesley. What lineup is this? Possible to the Biscuit Buddy. The promises of Chris Paul could have affected lineups. We don't know. Joaquin, what's going on? Mixed feelings? Yeah, definitely mixed feelings. I'm still going to be Ghost Birds go all the way. We'll try to call every game next season too. Oh my gosh, just yeah, the double whammy of the news today really threw me for a loop. Pop retires and Mitch is in. The fact that it was what was it within an hour? When did I shoot the short? Yeah, I think we found out Mitch was taking over within an hour after the Pop announcement was made. So clearly the Spurs already had Mitch Johnson in line for the position, or it wouldn't have been made that quickly. Some late decision were tanking decisions, possibly, possibly. Some folks wanted Becky, some didn't. I would have been fine either way. I'd rather take Dan Campbell for the Detroit Lions. I don't know if I want an NFL coach coaching our Spurs. All very big shoes to fill. Stuart, I don't know if there an interview process. I do not want to see center Sohan. No center Sohan. Pop's health, as we all know, has not been great since the stroke in November. He had the recent medical issue as well. I don't know if the decision was made with that recent medical issue where he fainted at the restaurant or if the wheels were already set in motion because you guys have said it, and I wouldn't be shocked if this was already the plan and we were just in the dark about it with the draft right around the corner next month and the lottery right around the corner as well. This seems like a good time to step down. Just the fact Mitch became the coach so quick is a little bit of shocking. It is a lot shocking. You need to have a solid, settled situation and get free agents. I don't know. So I want to talk a little bit real quick. I don't like talking coaching. I'm all over the place. I'm all over the place. This is obviously an unplanned stream. The salary cap for the Spurs is something we have to keep an eye on too. I talked about this in today's video. I don't want to go too much in depth because I'd rather have to watch the video. But for a lot of you that say we should bring Giannis in, believe me, I would love to have Giannis on the Spurs. He's going to make 63 million in year number 3. There's a lot of issues with the cap. But that being said, Pop steps down. He's going to stay as president. That'll be his full-time job. And we all, I think, kind of expected that he would step down from coaching, but stay in the front office. That's what he's going to do. The Mitch Johnson replacement just so freaking quick. I think they had a by May. How many, Paul? Levi, is it 10 days until the lottery? What's today, May 2nd? Yeah, can't wait. We'll be live for that. I think Miss TSR is going to try to be here. Got to be live for the lottery results. That's a huge day for us. We'll be live on the regular starting next week, guys. The Oklahoma City Thunder, the team that decided to fall in the playoffs, will be back to streaming them again. Feels like probably has been a week since we streamed them, but I am watching other games. As you see on that channel, I'm starting to put up some game endings. I kind of blew it with the Denver Nuggets ending with the putback dunk. I think it was Gordon that dunked it. Didn't have my camera ready. I blew the Pistons Knicks game with the foul that wasn't called, but now I'm aware. I'm like, TSR, if there's a minute left in the game and it's close, I get my phone up and I'm ready to shoot a short. Yeah, fresh year, I agree. Agreed too quick seems to be kind of the theme. It happened so fast. It was a good time to step down, but they needed to look at other options. I agree, Area 51. Someone who can make the team their own and build for the future. Mitch is just going to be a puppet. That is, oh, wow. Ouch. T-Gunk 82, good evening to you. Paul, the Giants, I mean, they don't get a ton of views. On average, I'd say probably 1,000 to 1,500. Some lower, around 500, some higher. I had fun with it. The feedback has been positive for the Jackson Dart draft pick, so I'm glad to hear that from other Giants fans. I've only been doing Giants content for a year and a half. It's still something to build upon. Uh, the video that the Giants, oddly enough, the video that I had go viral on the channel wasn't on the channel, but I have been part of a viral video that was originally shot on the channel when Evan Neal was drafted. I'm sorry, not Evan Neal. When Sauce Gardner was drafted, a friend of mine said the Jets were stupid idiots for drafting him. The video just got reposted by DraftKings a week or two ago, and we're never going to live that down. That's got, I think, 3 million views or 4 million views between all the platforms it's on. So I guess I have that going for me as a Giants content creator. What's up, Jane? And thank you for stopping in. Personality doesn't fit. Who's personality breathing? Oh, Tim Duncan's. Tim's. Okay. Stewart, maybe Avery as an assistant. Maybe. No, Tim didn't want to be an assistant. Mine was an assistant. I don't know. I know you're a Giants fan, but do you like the Texans? Olivia, neutral. I don't hate the Texans. I don't like the Texans. I don't want to use the word hate. I don't dislike them or like them. They're a football team. I'm indifferent. Don't like the Cowboys for obvious reasons. They're a rival. Good evening to Clutch Corey. Chris Paul's an assistant. Now, actually, that's not the worst idea. The team seems to be responding well to him. They said he's an excellent mentor. Could we see CP3 transition from point guard to an assistant coach of some sort, which Mitch Johnson? I don't know if I'd be opposed to that, but Monica, good evening to you. Thank you for stopping in. There's a Yodi boop for everybody. Oh, go around pop and do. Sarva, what's going on? Mitch makes sense as temporary coach if they want Steve Kerr after next season. Oh, you got a plan. Romeo, what's going on? Tim Duncan is not. No, Taylor, Tim Duncan's not. CP3 seems like he likes to reach. What do you mean, Tax Brazilian Ghost? Teach. Oh, yes, thank you, Pop. So I think I know the answer to this, but is Gregg Popovich the greatest head coach of all time? I'm a little biased as a Spurs fan, and I can see the argument for Pop. I can see the argument for, say, Phil Jackson. And I know people are like, TSR Phil Jackson had Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen with the Bulls. Then he had Kobe and Shaq with the Lakers. I'm like, yeah, he had great players. Hello? Great players, you win championship. Great coaches win championships with great players. They go hand in hand. Today's Romeo, a weird day with just Red Arbach. A weird day with the pop news and the Mitch Johnson news right there. I guess if there's any takeaway, any silver lining, if you will, from the situation is if Kellen Johnson was to be traded in the offseason, because Kellen's always in trade rumors, right? We would still have a Johnson on our team. Never want to be without a Johnson. Larry Brown, okay. Mark Jackson. Today isn't a sad day. It's a closing. There you go, Five Lug Racing. Now, hopefully, we haven't gone from an exciting drama to a horror story. What's Mitch Johnson? But it is really the end of an era. It's an end of really the end of an era for the NBA, as Gregg Popovich is no longer going to be head coach. LeBron James is pondering retirement. Of course, he probably has the last few years. But at this point, you can't build a team around LeBron James. He's too old. I mean, credit to him for playing 40 plus minutes a game in not the Mavericks, good grief, the Timberwolves series. But Father Time is clearly catching up to him. You know, when LeBron retires, Steph Curry's getting older, Kevin Durant's getting older. Like the guys that we've been watching for a lot of you, if you're younger, the folks you've been watching since maybe around the year 2000 or a little later, what about 2002? Early 2000s, the faces of the NBA are a lot of the Spurs faces are obviously retired. It's definitely a change. I I don't know. LeBron can stay healthy either. What's up, Cooper? Thank you for stopping in. And yes, Gregg Popovich, he looks good, doesn't he? July 26th, what's up? I can't imagine how much. Well, also, Five Lug, I think LeBron's contract next year is a team option for 50 million. No, no. LeBron is not retiring yet. I'd like to see him retire. Good. I'm not the biggest LeBron James fan, as you guys know. It's now what, 4 championships in 22 years? And that's gonna be what, 4 championships in 23, 4 championships in 24. It's like it's making his accomplishments. Granted, he has all the stats in the world with points, rebounds, assists, but his playoff success is now being stretched out over a further and further and further period. And the playoff law, and they're not looking good. I don't know. I don't see how Luka and LeBron. I don't think they can afford. Well, they're the Lakers. Maybe they could afford another player, but that's not about them tonight. Let's keep talking Spurs. All right, Levi, I got you. LeBron will play one more year. 20. Oh, I didn't realize that would be number 20. You're right. 23 for 23. And Veronica, yes. Is Mitch appointed to still? Belichick. That's been a theory among a lot of Spurs fans. Is that Pop is still going to have some sort of control, and that's why Mitch is going to be on the court, but Pop is still going to be involved coaching somehow without actually being on there, without having to travel. It is time to start winning. Dr. Steiner, good evening to you. I think if you can get one more, they have two players making 50 million. And obviously, they don't care if they go over the salary cap, the threshold, and the levels, etc. They've got plenty of money. Do they make a play for Giannis? But do they even have anything to trade for him? They're like almost out of picks, aren't they? They don't have any players that are equal to him, so I don't know what their big move is. If they keep the in-season tourney going. The Pop Trophy? Well, first off, Paul, I hope the in-season thing is gone. I'm don't care about it. I think most NBA fans don't care about it. If your team wins it, whoop-de-doo. You won a little tournament. I think do the players get a little money on the side? I'd like to see that thing go. Mitch, so wow. Joshua, how do you really feel? Probably the great Oz. Yeah, Braga, that's a great analogy. Great analogy. If Mitch does something wrong, Pop is going to do this. Two players making $50 million and not playing defense at the same time is no. Yeah, sorry. Charles Barkley recently, an NBA on TNT, said something funny. Like, man, they can't play no defense. Luka can't even guard a chair. I was like, okay, Luka can't even guard a chair. I mean, Luka's one of the best players in the NBA when healthy. He's not known for his defense. He's really not. And that team's got a lot of issues. Our team, on the other hand, things look bright. Next week we'll find out where we pick in the draft. Currently, it's slotted to be 8 and 14. I don't love that position. I don't mind the 14th pick if we take like a Rasheer Fleming type player. The 8th pick is kind of a weird spot because we don't know who's going to be available. It's always a crapshoot at the NBA draft. Sure, we have our mock drafts, we have our rankings, etc. But we see players jump up. Joshua Primo, sorry, jump up significantly. We see players drop down that weren't expected to. Uh, Jalen Duren in the 2022 draft dropped a few spots, and then no further than to the NFL draft. I'm sure you've heard by now, Shedeur Sanders, Deion Sanders' son, a quarterback, was ranked as a top 5 talent, I believe, in this NFL draft. And speaking of 5, dropped to the 5th round. Now, you're not going to see something like that in the NBA draft where a top 5 ranked player goes all the way to the back of the 2nd round unless there's an injury or some sort of criminal activity on the side. But we're going to see players move up and down. Con Knippel's been mocked to the Spurs a ton in 8, but lately there's talks he might go in the top 7. And if he does go in the top 7 or 6, he ain't going to be there at 8. I don't know. Three Beards, I don't know who Cam Scottaboo is. Skadoosh. Cam Skadoosh. I don't know who that is, but some people seem to be excited on him, so great. It was always going to be Mitch. That seems to be Bronco, yeah. What's up, Eric? Good evening, everyone. Just want to start by saying thank you, Pop, for an awesome 20 plus years. It was almost 30, wasn't it? You started coaching in 96. Yeah, 29 years, just under 30. Of all the great memories and giving us San Antonio Spurs fans the joy of feeling being a champ. Absolutely. The old era of the fine rings is finally over. Yeah, you're right. It's officially a new era. It's the Johnson era. Hopefully it's a big era, so we get a big Johnson era. Can you imagine if Mitch Johnson wins multiple championships with the Spurs? Just play it out for a second. If the Spurs become the championship team, which we all believe they will be with Wemby leading the charge, and if Mitch Johnson is the coach of those championship teams and wins 2, 3, or 4, or whatever it may be, my goodness, a lot of us will have to eat our words on Mitch Johnson, will we not? And I will happily do so. If the Spurs are a perennial playoff contender and winning multiple championships under Mitch Johnson's watch, I'd be happy to be wrong about him. LeBron cried, Luka got fried, and JJ tried. Oof, what? Okay, so Wolves in 5. I see what you're doing there, Arnav. The Lakers in 5 thing was so running rampant, and it was Lakers in 5. Lakers out in 5, but it was actually 5 games. Wasn't a great series to watch. I've been enjoying watching NBA playoff basketball though, guys. You've seen some of the clips. The Jalen Brunson, who I forgot when he hit that big 3, was last night. I forgot he was clutch player of the year. Of course, he's clutch player of the year, and he hits a bomb to put the Pistons away. That was a great series. We got the Thunder, not the Thunder, the Rockets and the Warriors tonight. I think that series was 3-2. I'm obviously not calling it. When I watched the fourth quarter, I've really enjoyed NBA playoff basketball. I don't like all the ticky-tack fouls and the million three-pointers. I'm still not a fan of that. But a lot of the games have been really good. A little bit of controversy, too. So, good fun. We're going to land VJ Edgecombe. He will be starting shooting guard, and Castle moves from point guard to shooting guard to small forward. Castle's too small for small forward. 6'6", 210-ish, too small. If it was Lakers in 5, then Lakers, yeah, I'm sure they would. Yeah, they would move the bar. Kurt leaves Golden State. Would you like him coaching the Spurs? Daniel, I'd be for it. I'm assuming Mitch is going to be the guy for the next 3 to 5 years at least. Connor's probably one of the right guys, even though his ceiling is. Yeah, he's not a flashy player. He's one of those guys that's gonna. He's what we need, but he's not the big name. Obviously, I think a lot of you would agree, except for a small percentage. The player that just seems to fit right for us is obviously Cooper Flag, not just because he's projected to be the best player in the draft. The Spurs need size, check. They need somebody that can shoot a 3-ball, check. Need somebody that can play defense, check. He checks a lot of the boxes we need. We need a wing that's tall or power forward that's got some height, but they can also shoot. With the full offseason for Mitch, they just lost that, to really implement what he wants in a healthy, more experienced, and improved roster, Mitch will be better. I think he will be. I did say that, Izzy, that things will be better. He'll have the offseason. Wemby and Darren Fox will have an offseason together. Actually, Fox and the whole team will have an offseason together. Fox is a left-handed point guard, so things work a little differently when he's running the offense, as in switcheroony, because he's left-handed. So I think that'll really help the team in the offseason. Do you think he can develop a system given our talent is very precise? Fresh? It's a good question. That's going to be the real big question is can Mitch Johnson put it all together with this team and the way the roster is built? They were winning with Mitch as coach up until the second game in January. They were 18 and 16. I believe they were, I want to say 2 and 3 under Pop. So under Mitch, they would have been 16 and 13, which isn't record breaking, but it's a winning record. And then the wheels fell off for whatever reason in January. Yes, we were playing tougher teams, but just the team collapsed, fell apart, and started losing games left and right. Bible, good evening to you. Mitch is going to end like Pop by the time it's said and done. Do you think he's going to be with us for 25 years? Mitch is the right choice for the organization. Good. Okay. And show enough, thank you for it. Yes. What's the thumbs up look like, Pop? Thank you, Pop. Just can't see Mitch being successful. We'll see. What's up, Paisan? Thank you for stopping in. 6'6", 210, 30 is the size most starting. Are they? I don't know. Maybe I'm yeah, Pension. I'm thinking of like some of the bigger teams that have 6'9" to 6'10" small forwards. I think the Orlando Magic put out 3 guys that are pretty big, don't they? I think the Cavs do as well. Knowing Pop has probably told the Spurs organization to keep Mitch's at. Oh, I'm sure. I mean, Pop's the president. He has not only influence, but probably a lot of control over that decision. Will Wemby be enough of a draw to bring in free agents? Without Pop Lee Jones, I would say yes. The question is, can we afford roster, over the years? We don't want to run into the issue the Oklahoma City Thunder had with Harden, Westbrook, and Durant, is when you get all these guys that are, turn out to be studs, their contracts start getting better as they get, or bigger as they get better. Can you afford everybody? I mean, if Wemby becomes a player we think he can be, an elite two-way player, offense and defense, if Stephon Castle can develop the way we think he's going to, really, right now, I would say the big thing for him is shooting, improve your three-point shooting, simply because having a backcourt with 2 suboptimal three-point shooters, Fox and Castle, I don't think's going to help us with in certain situations. I'm hoping Fox works on his 3 ball. He did shoot 37%, I believe, the year before. This year he was down again. I think he was under 33%. So if both those guys can at least get 35, 36, 37%, so they're not being left open. The Jeremy Sohan effect, where I don't think they're not leaving Fox open, but they are leaving Castle open at times. But Jeremy, I love Jeremy, but teams leave him open. You see him out there in 3-point land and just a defender sagging off, double teaming Wemby. So I'm kind of rambling. I don't know what the question was. Oh, can we get the most? The desire to play with Wemby, the generational talent, and have a chance to win a championship. That might be enough. Oh, what's going on? We play the Red Sox. Charge the Red Sox, Steve. Sounds like Pop didn't want attention on him, so they announced Mitch as new head coach right after. That's possible. Joaquin, maybe. Baby said, you know what? I'm stepping back. I'm out. Put your focus on this. Mitch is our best option to coach. We don't have Wemby chance. You're right, Eric. I'm a New York Giants fan. Daniel Jones is a player that's been mentioned on this channel a lot. He's no longer with the Giants, but he was never really given a chance to succeed in New York. He had multiple offensive coordinators, multiple head coaches. One thing you don't want to do to a young player you're trying to develop, regardless of how much talent they have, is to keep switching coaches over and over and over again. So you are right there. Apparently, Wemby likes Mitch. So knowing that, okay, all right. Put up or shut up, Mitch. Show us you got it next year. No wonky, weird rotations. Call timeouts when needed. Challenge when needed. He was better at the end of the season. Hopefully that carries over into next season. From what I understand, yeah, the players like Mitch. Strus is 6'5". Oh, okay. All right. I still don't think he hassled small forward. Hey, what do you do with Jeremy then? You're putting Jeremy at power forward? I forgot what the lineup was. I'm really curious what we do with our lineups this offseason, guys. Like, who are the starters next year? Outside of the 1 and the 5, it's guaranteed that Darren Fox is starting. It's guaranteed that Wemby's starting. Who else is a guaranteed starter on this team? It seems like Castle would be, correct? Is Sohan a guaranteed starter? Is Vassell a guaranteed starter? Do we go small ball where it's Fox, Castle, Vassell, Sohan, and Wemby? That would give us a pretty good defensive lineup, but we'd be small. We would have no offensive rebounding for the most part because Wemby does spend a lot of time on the perimeter. He's firing off 10 threes a game or more. The guys I just mentioned are Sohan's an okay. Actually, Sohan was our best offensive rebounder when he was healthy. But aside from that, I don't remember Steph or Fox. Definitely not Fox or Vassell being great at offensive rebounding. Fox, Castle, Wemby only. Okay, Castle guarantee. I mean, Wemby's obviously preaching to the choir here. 100%. Fox is 100%. I think Castle's likely to start. I really don't know about the rest of the guys. Vassell and Castle play. All right. So Vassell in the starting lineup. About what the players think. Yes, Veronica, I agree. Yes, if the players are telling the Spurs organization, we like Mitch, we trust in his process, trust the process. It's hard to argue with that decision. You want players to trust the coach that's going to be coaching them, and if that is Mitch Johnson, so be it. Maybe they talked to Wemby, Steph, they talked to the whole team. They had a team meeting and said, "Hey, Pop's stepping down tomorrow. We might make Mitch the coach, but we're also thinking about interviewing some guys. What's your take?" And if the entire roster said Mitch is our guy, then maybe that went with. It kills what's going on. Spurs want Mitch so Pop can still basically. That's been a theme too. I guarantee Castle, KJ Bassell, and the Sohan will all. Wow, and all of them. If Chris Paul stays with the team, Wood got to come off the bench. Absolutely no way, shape, or form should he be starting for the Spurs next season. I will give him credit. I did not expect him to play 82 games. I didn't expect anybody on the roster to play 82 games, and he, Julian Champagnie, and Harrison Barnes all did. But I believe Chris Paul is the oldest player to play all 82 games I think he's in his 20th season. Kudos to him for playing all 20, all 82 games, but he should not be a starter. Absolutely not. Especially, he's not getting any younger, he's getting older. There you go. Trust the process, Jetted. Mitch doesn't seem like he's overly tough on the guys. Well, you know what, Lee? Things have changed. Things have changed a lot where how people are raised, how people are schooled, how people are disciplined, and some the screaming in your face type yelling, how Pop coached back in the day, that might not work with today's generation of basketball players. The game is very different, and I'm trying to make sure I don't say anything that's politically incorrect. I don't know if that style of getting in your face, yelling you, or benching you immediately if you make a turnover. I don't know if that works with the guys today. I'm not saying Mitch should not be soft on the guys either. Like if somebody screws up, you got to call them out. But yelling in their face might just not work anymore. Steven D, yeah, he probably is. A trophy. Okay, why do you think Pop is going to still? Is Mitch the puppet and Pop is the puppet master? He's the Pop it master. I think the Mitch era. I think what? Sorry, I think Mitch was and still is a shooting coach for women. You think so? Go on. Okay. If Mitch is connecting with the players and you enjoy having him around. That's yes. I agree. Absolutely. Yeah, fresh era. It might be with his style of coaching, but a lot of coaches don't coach like that anymore. If it doesn't, Rich Pop mentioned in his Hall of Fame speech, the way he coached today back then would get. Okay. You're talking about that coaching style. Yeah, it doesn't. It just doesn't work. They wouldn't. Just like the NBA has gotten, I'm gonna say, soft with fouls. You guys know if you just slap the hand just a little bit, it's a foul. The flopping by a lot of players. The game has changed, and as the game has changed and evolved, players have changed. And yeah, the coaching style you have to change with the times if you're a coach. And credit to Pop, he's coached how many decades? The 90s to 2000s to 2010s, 2020s. Hasn't had any success in the 2020s, but decades pretty darn good. Yeah, Dane Thomas, that's fair. I'm trying not to be mean, but yes, it, yeah, people, yeah, that's all I got. The game has changed, but you still need, yes, you do need, I do agree, passion and fire. And we see that from our players. And that's a good thing. If the coach doesn't have it, but the players have it on their own, then I think we'll still be okay. And we see it with Wemby. He wants to win. Sometimes when the Spurs were losing, you could just look at his face, and the body language was "I hate losing. I hate losing." We see that from Stefan Castle. One thing I forgot to mention in his rookie of the video, I talked about, he's better than expected, such a better above the rim finisher than I ever expected. Castle has that no fear, and I'll say it. Some people might not like it, but he's got a Mamba mentality where he just keeps driving and attacking regardless. And if he messes up a turnover, a brick three, it doesn't seem to phase him. He's already got that. Sometimes you either got that or you don't. I'm not really sure you can teach that. Maybe over time. LeBron James didn't have that killer mentality for the first 8 or 10 years in the NBA. He went to Miami Heat, and I think Dwayne Wade rubbed off on him, and he got some of that from him there. But I think Steph already has that. Wemby already has that, and that's a good foundation right there to have your young players have that will to want to win. If the coach doesn't necessarily have, I think Mitch does want to win, but I don't think he's going to be the guy that's out there yelling and screaming. And my goodness, can somebody get him some chloroseptic or something? Every interview, "Well, you did a great game tonight, and tonight it went bad." Mitch, what's up with your voice? I hope Emeka Udoka doesn't get the Mike Malone treatment. Yeah, is that a possibility? Castle has more mama than LeBron. Wow. Okay. Turo says, I think of Pop as coach for the coach. Guide into new. Are you talking about coaching Mitch? They want, well, Joshua, I don't disagree with that. They probably wanted somebody that would do things their way, the front office way. Maybe another coach would give them a lot more pushback. I don't trust any coach that sounds like, all right, nice. By the way, the gang is all here tonight. You guys see Yodi, even though there's no scoreboard or game. Mikey's in the house, so. And then, of course, sexiest headband, I'm going to say on YouTube, on the planet, headband Grogu, looking the wrong way. Well, he was saying hi to Pop. Oh. Joshua, I like Sam Cassell as a possible coach as well. Sam Cassell was, I actually did a video on him, I want to say a month ago, talking about possible head coaches in the future. And he's one that came up, and I was like, what about Sam Cassell? Why not? It's almost, may the force be, may the force be with you. Adorable. But yeah, I would like Sam Cassell. I mean, would Malone's coaching style work with the Spurs? I don't know. I told y'all last time our Pop was done, but well, no, militia guy, I was very doubtful he would come back. I did say he would try to come back because people are saying he can't, but his age and a medical emergency like that were not good signs. I've kind of been predicting, like you, my thought process was he's going to stay out the Spurs in the front office, but step down as coach. It finally came true today. For pause, that's a darn good question. I don't know. We're getting picks number 1 and 2 in the draft. Book it. So I don't think we would draft 2 players if that happened, because we would have massive salary cap issues with Wemby being on his max contract by that time, and the rookie extension. The rookie extensions for them coming up. It would be 3 guys making 40 million or more. 4 years from now? So 5 years, whatever it comes out to. That would not work. If that actually happened, Spurs draft the first overall, draft number 1, Cooper Flag, and trade. I would trade number 2 and see if you can get, not necessarily draft capital, but maybe a player that's good on the team, a team that's trying to rebuild. Spurs disappointed me today. It was Marquise. It was an odd day. Pop retiring and Mitch Johnson becoming the coach so quickly after it was announced was, I think that was the shocker, because I did the YouTube short on Pop retiring, and as I was reading some of the comments, oldest to newest, as I started getting up near the newer ones, all of a sudden I see Mitch is now the head coach, and I was like, what? And sure enough, I Google it, Mitch Johnson, head coach. Becky Hammond just released a statement. She has no plans to return to the NBA. I'm not surprised. I'm guessing she would have liked, if she was going to be an NBA coach, be the Spurs head coach, and now that's no chance of that happening. We get the first pick in the draft. Will we trade it for Giannis? No. Cooper Flag. Laturo, Giannis is 30 years old, so he's on the wrong side of 30 next season. He's commanding a massive salary. No, I did a video on it today. If you haven't got a chance to watch about trading for Giannis, I shared a lot of my thoughts, and I don't remember everything I said, but I talked about the salary cap and the reasons we shouldn't. Yes, I would be excited if it happened, and I would root for it. I'd root for Twin Towers 2.0, but this would be a short-term move and a win now move. And I don't know if we're not win now. You know, are we trying to build a dynasty again, like we had with Timmy, Manu, and Tony? Isn't that like more of a thing, like a long-term 12 to 15-year plan with Wemmy? I don't know how long he's going to play, but I assume from his height and just history of guys at that height, he's not going to play longer than 15 more years. Don't be surprised if Fox holds off signing his extension. Interesting. Okay. Trade both picks and sell for a top five pick. The thing is, Josh, other teams need to be willing to trade down. I mean, who are we taking for if we can't get the number one pick and whoever gets number one overall is not trading it? Who are you drafting in the top five? Are you taking Ace Bailey because we need a forward? I don't believe he can shoot the three ball. Dylan Harper, BJ Edgecombe. We don't need another guard. So I mean, in the top five for me, it's flag or I don't want to say or bust. I mean, I've heard good things about Bailey. I see a lot of Spurs fans kind of leaning towards no Ace Bailey. So I don't know. Yeah, Giannis already 30. It would make more sense when we need to get over first round. Like, yes. Can we talk about Wemby's height? Yeah, does Wemby look taller to you guys? That picture I put up, and I'm sure you've seen it on other social media, there's a picture of David Robinson, Tim Duncan, Stefan Castle, and then Wemby looks giant. I mean, he already looks like a giant, but he looked quite a bit taller than David. Now, David Robinson was listed at 7'1" in his playing days. He's in his 60s now. Is he 60? I think he actually is 60, or he'll be 60 this year. So, and he's had a back injury and some other injuries. So maybe he's shrunk a little bit. Maybe 6'7" maybe 6'11" now. But Wemby looks, what, at least 7'5"? And Paisan say maybe even 7'6". Road trip, what's going on? They were stopping in. Timmy might, I mean, people age. And I mean, I'm 6'4". There's going to be a point where I'm not 6'4" anymore and I'm going to be 6'3" and then maybe 6'2". Hulk Hogan's a great example of somebody messing up their back and shrinking. When he first came into wrestling, he was, you say 6'8". He was probably more 6'7" ish, based on what I saw him looking at his height with Andre. But years and years of that leg drop, falling on his butt, has compressed so many discs in his back. He's what, 6'4" now? He lost like 3 inches of height. William Juby, with all the nonsense we'll talk about Durant joining the team, how about the Spurs making a pitch to the Bucks for Giannis? William, I did a video on it today. I don't want to talk about it too much because I did video on it. So if you get a chance to watch the video, there's a lot of you agreed with my take on it, which is kind of cool. So I think I really hit we hit a triple with my take on that one. Ace Bailey, oh, is he 35%? But he's a guy that we need to get better, which we have a lot of guys that need to get better. Some men are still getting taller in their early 20s. Okay. You met Hogan in two. Is he 6'3" now? Yeah, he's lost. Taj, Hogan's had major injuries, knee surgeries, tons of back injuries. I'm getting the Spurs guys, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe Wemby's 6'7" now. Yes, William, I did make a bit about it. I did. I did. I talked at length about Giannis coming here. Well, not at length. It was like an 8-minute video. I don't remember everything I said, but I thought I made a good argument on why it shouldn't happen. If Wemby had a growth spurt, I mean, God, he'd be unstoppable. Well, you don't want him to get too tall because then if he gets too ridiculously tall, that raises more health concerns. Yes, you need to get better, but okay, you're talking about Ace Bailey. I mean, listen, we get a top four pick, not the first overall pick. That that's obviously a pipe dream. It's obviously not likely. But a top four pick, there is a decent chance. I think it's over 25%, so it could happen. I'm taking Ace Bailey. We need a forward. We need size. This team desperately needs size. Do you take another forward with the 14th pick? Do you take a Rasheer Fleming type? Do you reach a little bit? Well, actually, the mock drafts have been all over the place on Rasheer Fleming and Danny Wolf, who I've heard is a bit turnover prone, a poor free throw shooter. Do you even take? Do you even use the second pick? Do you trade it again? Would not shock me if Brian Wright trades the second pick. Heck, he might use the Atlanta Hawks pick to take a player like Rasheer Fleming and trade the eighth pick. We like trading eighth picks, don't we, for something, in 2040? Macho Man was shorter than you, William? Dang. No way we pass on Bailey? I agree. Levi, if he's there, yes. But I'm telling you, Edgecombe is So what do we do? He's a shooting guard, right? VJ Edgecombe, is he like a 6'5" guard wing? We have a lot of those guys. So does that mean if we draft him, are you pretty much guaranteeing you're trading Devin Vassell in the offseason? And if so, for who? The thing I would worry about is usage between Fox, Wemby, and Giannis. Belichick, the big question is usage between what's the usage next season? Wemby, Fox, right? Castle? Castle's very aggressive with his shot. He's not afraid to, I don't want to say be a ball hog, but he's not afraid to, take over a game if needed, especially if he's cooking. Where does that put Devin? Is he fourth in the pecking order now? He was originally supposed to be number 2, and now dropping as the 4th option. That's a tough adjustment. Fletcher says, good evening to you. Very timely, as there are a ton of good coaches. Well, they went with Mitch. I'm not sure if you're aware. Thank you, Veronica. Yeah, if we get the thumbs up to, let's get him 69 tonight. Kokoshiba, we desperately need size. And I think, JT, what's going on? Thank you for stopping in. Can you trade for coaches in the NBA? Does that happen? The second pick we traded for sure. Yeah, I don't see us taking both. I really don't. We need to trade Vassell or Sohan or both. I like Jeremy. I think people think on the channel I don't like Jeremy because I say critical, but I do say he needs to work on things. He needs to stay healthy. He needs to work on his shooting. And the Spurs need to play him in position. That's on them. He's been out of position 2 years in a row. Point guard Sohan, center Sohan. They're not doing him any favors. I do think he needs to really show us improvement this year. Some kind of improvement. That little stretch at the start of the season, like the first 6 games, he was playing the best basketball he's ever played as a Spur. He needs to do that, hopefully, for a whole season and stay healthy. But I do like Jeremy. I did a song about Jeremy. It's called You Don't Mess with the Sohan. I wrote kind of a metal theme for Jeremy Sohan. Rooting for him. Oh, did I get really loud? Ow, your ears? Did I get really loud somewhere? I'll move the mic back a little bit. Spurs really need to decide on what player profile. Yeah, who fits best with Wemby? Yeah, a lot of the guys we've talked about, Jeremy Sohan, Keldon Johnson, Dan Vassell, Malachi Branham, Blake Wesley, a lot of this roster was constructed pre-Wemby. Now it's time to build construct the roster post-Wemby. And some of the guys we drafted before might not necessarily fit with what we're trying to do with Wemby. Injury issue with, the clips are loud. Oh, were they? Which clip did I play? Did I hit a clip? Rich, do you believe you're only a real fan by going with everything your team does and never being critical bad? No. Oh, okay. No, okay. Sorry, Joshua. I thought like, oh, he's throwing shit. No, you've got to be an honest fan. I don't. I mean, I call it like I see it, and I know a lot of times you guys don't disagree with me, and that's okay. I got to be me. I don't like the Mitch Johnson move. I didn't like the Zach Collins contract extension. I was a little sketchy on the Devin Vassell contract extension, which is now looking like we may have overpaid if he stays the course. If he plays like he did the prior year, then it'll look a little better. No, I've hated some of our draft picks. I wanted Jalen Duren over Jeremy Sohan when that happened in 2022. Oh, my Go Spurs Go clip. Oh, is it really loud? Um, hmm. Did I do a Go Spurs Go? Here, I'll turn it down. That shouldn't be too loud. That one's really loud. It's not showing very loud on there. I turned it down. I didn't know I played it. But yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of the team, you want what's best, but call it like you see it. I'm a Giants fan. I'm calling them out all the time, but I'm calling them out. And please understand this. Because some people think I'm a Spurs hater. I've been criticized by a very small part of the community as a Spurs hater. Look. I want what's best for the team. I want every player to succeed. It would make me nothing happy. I would be happy in the opinion. You know what? If next year Jeremy Sohan averaged 12 points per game and 15 rebounds and was the reincarnation of Dennis Rodman, that would be ecstatic. I would love Malachi Branham out there shooting the 3 ball at 45% and actually slinging some D. You know what I mean? I would love to see every one of our guys succeed because if every one of our guys is succeeding, we're winning. I want Mitch Johnson to do well. I don't agree with the move, but I really hope he proves me wrong. I hope he proves a lot of us wrong. I hope the Spurs win 50 games next year and we're all like, all right, Mitch, kudos, your first season as a non-interim coach. You got us a winning record. You got us to 50 wins for the first time in what feels like forever. Good on you. The Ghost first go. Pop comes out loud. Oh, the thumbs up. Oh my gosh, that was loud. Why was that so loud? All right. Yeah, that one. Yeah, sorry. I just saw that. It was in the red. I fixed it. It's good now, right? I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. I'm sorry, guys. I couldn't see the volume thing the way this is set up. It's lower now. Much lower. I'm sorry. Well, if you were falling asleep listening to this, you're awake now. Jeremy Son should be kept along with the three main guys. He's our defensive eight. Yeah, he is. I don't think I am a little concerned about his contract extension coming up. I do want to see him get paid if the Spurs believe he should stay here, which I want to give him another year. I want to see him play in position for a season and stay healthy. But it's how much is it going to cost us, the Spurs? Do we give him 3 years for 3 years for 52 million ish? Okay. 3 years for 75 million? That'd actually probably be 4 years. 4 years for 100 million. No, I don't think he's proven he's a $25 million plus player. I've seen some reports say 23. I'm thinking because of injury history, I'm thinking closer to 20, 20 or a little less than that. More like a Kelvin Johnson contract. Why is everyone talking about Giannis? It's news. It's the news, Kokoshibo. A lot of folks want Giannis because, well, yeah, Levi. Well, I did it again because I was trying to adjust the volume. I can't see the volume if the clip's not playing. I'm sorry. Uh, Giannis is an intriguing, obviously very intriguing player. I just don't see it happening. I think most players will take a team-friendly deal or be traded. Yeah. Let's say hypothetically landed Cooper Flag. What would you want Wemby to be? Would you want Wemby to be a primary ball handler and a three-point shooter? Uh, I don't know because I haven't watched enough of Cooper Flag's game to know his fit with Wemby. I like what we got going with Area 51. You know, Wemby draws a lot of attention. Wemby's usage rate's still gonna be first on the team more than likely. He draws a lot of attention, and you can see the guys that are cutting backdoor. Steph gets in there for some easy alley oops. Fox will be able to as well. Our slashers will be able to get in there because I will be on Wemby. But we need guys that can also space the floor. We're kind of going to be a reverse NBA team. What I mean by that is our bigs are probably going to be our best 3-point shooters if they have Wemby. Barnes is starting again. He was our best 3-point shooter. And let's say we get a guy at the 4 that's a good 3-point shooter. Our guards, Fox and Castle, are not great 3-point shooters, but they're great at finishing in the paint and around the rim. So maybe instead of having the guards shoot threes, opening up the floor for the bigs, it'll be the bigs shooting the threes, opening up the floor for the guards. Whatever happens, I hope we win a lot of games. Alexander, no Becky. The Spurs announced Mitch Johnson was coach about, I want to say, an hour within the Gregg Popovich news. It was very close time-wise where Pop stepped down, and next thing you know, Mitch Johnson's in. Yeah, definitely shocking news today. Guys, I think I do want to I don't have any food in my house, and Trader Joe's closes at 9. I want to get live for about 30 minutes. We've been live for 4. Pool Johnson is exactly it. Rachel, good evening to you. I want to just talk to you guys for a little bit about the situation, see how you're feeling. Looks like the majority of the community is not exactly thrilled with the move. We can agree that we hope he does well and proves us wrong, and then there are some folks that are happy with the move. But I want to get in here, talk to you a little bit because it's been such a huge news day, and we haven't been live and talking Spurs in forever. So I figured let's talk some Spurs. It's been fun, but I am going to wrap it up so I can go get some food in my house. So I appreciate y'all hanging out. Hit the thumbs up on the way out. And on behalf of myself, Gregg Popovich, Baby Mikey, and Ed Van Grogu, what you gonna do when TSR Sports runs wild on you? Where Spurs go?